everyone, and welcome back to the DSS Break. It's great to have you with us today. I'm Anna Annison, the founder of Data Science Salon, and today I'm streaming directly from our headquarters, which is beautifully located in the heart of the Miami, just a few blocks away from the design district. And we're here live every week or every other week, depending on the month, to discuss the world of data science, AI, and machine learning. And we chat about quick, unique experiences and best practices with leading data professionals in a quick 15-minute break. And I'm excited to introduce today's guest, Yashasvi Singh, Senior Data Analyst at Navy Federal Credit Union. And Yashasvi specializes in data governance, analytics, and strategic decision making at one of the largest credit unions in the US, which is really awesome. And with a strong background in data, stewardship, and passion for leveraging data to drive business optimization, she's making a big impact by turning complex information into real actionable insights. And today we'll hear about her work at Navy Federal and her perspective on evolving the role of data governance, which is really important today, and also some advice for aspiring data professionals. Welcome, Yashasvi. It's so great to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, let's dive in. I would love to get to know you a little bit better. Tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you actually get into data in the first place and then end up in data governance?
Yeah, sure. So my journey starts with data analytics, where I did my master's in information systems with specialization in data science and analytics from Syracuse University, and where I became fascinated about how data can tell compelling stories and drive decisions. And over time, I realized that as much as we love powerful insights, they are only as good as the data behind them. And that's what led me to data governance. I saw gaps within the data when I came into the Navy Federal as a business intelligence analyst, where I did a lot of reporting, but I make sure that whatever I am reporting, I am accountable for that, and that's what data governance is all about. And I lean towards building frameworks and standards that bring clarity, control, and also confidence into how organizations use data in their day to day. So that's it.
No, that's a great story. Thank you so much for sharing. And what does a day in the life look like for you as a senior data analyst at Navy Federal Credit Union? Maybe you could share a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah, sure. So every day is a mix of strategic thinking, hands-on problem solving. I usually start with checking on key metrics or data health, that data is flowing and clean so that analysts who are working on them can start their day as they come in. And then it's collaborating with different cross-functional teams, whether it's credit card or different departments within the lending in NA Federal, and to understand their needs and translate them into analytics and governance solutions. And I spend a lot of time improving data standards, implementing automation, making sure that I am aware of the new tools that are out in the market as well as at Navy Federal, so that whenever there's some automation that I might have to do, I know where to go, and ensuring that our data assets are discoverable and trustworthy for different teams within the department, as well as any teams outside our department as well. So it's a balance of like the quick wins and as well as the long-term impact that we have.
Cool. No, that sounds like you're really busy. So, it's a lot to handle. No, that's awesome. And let's talk a little bit about data governance because it has become such a priority across so many different industries. What are some key elements that organizations need to get right even before building a strong data governance practice internally?
Yeah, great question. So, I think the three things that come to my mind is first the clear ownership and accountability. And I think even if you are a data analyst professional or any analyst, make sure that you are accountable of what the work you are doing. And also, without defined data stewards and owners, governance can quickly be siloed or neglected. because sometimes for analysts, it's a lot to handle to getting the right data and also delivering the insights. So that is a lot of work. And that's where data stewards and owners comes in, so that we can clearly define those ownership that we have across the workflows. And next is the standardization and documentation. So a shared language of data definitions and metrics and processes is very foundational. Even within our credit card departments, we make sure that we have a standardized queries for all the standardized processes that we have, so that even any analyst that wants to serve that they want to see like active credit cards that are in the DE federal, so they should have the same count. So that's where we come in, providing them with those standardized queries. And next is the cultural and adoption. So even the best policy won't stick if the teams don't see value in it. So it's very possible that they might be able to quickly neglect it. So it's very important embedding governance into the workflows and not just like layering it on the top of them. So yeah, it's a lot of collaboration and adoption.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it. It's definitely a balance of a lot of things, right?
Right.
And how do you ensure that data insights actually translate into strategic decision making across different departments? I feel like that's also very hard.
Yeah, I mean, that option is very hard. It starts with empathy and understanding that what success looks like for each department. And then it's about aligning insights to their KPIs and then business priorities that they have. I also find that data storytelling is key. A well structured dashboard is great, but the context and the visuals and the recommendations that bridges the gap between the insight and the action. So that is very important. And finally, I would advocate for the cross functional things where analysts and business leaders co create the solutions, and it also creates a shared ownership of outcomes. And between the analysts and business leaders, it's us that come in, we do all the conversations and make sure that everything is clear for the analysts to go and build dashboards on those data, because data is the king.
Yeah, no, it sounds like there is a lot of communication that's involved here as well, on top of all the other work that has to be done, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
and what are some of the most? I mean, I could assume that communication could definitely be a challenge, but what are some other challenges that people are seeing when they're trying to implement these kind of frameworks? Or
Yes.
what are some of the common other things other than like not miscommunication and such?
Yeah. So one common challenge is just underestimating the cultural shift that is required. So governance is just not a tech or maybe a compliance project. It's about changing how people think about it and how they use the data. And another thing is trying to do much at once. So governance works best when it's like phased and starting with high impact domains and then expanding from there. And lastly, many organizations struggle with tooling, choosing systems that are too complex or not too well integrated into the analyst workflows. So it's very important that you have a good set of systems and software that are in place and that integrates really well with each other. For example, you have Microsoft, they have end to end software, Power BI, that can do a lot of dashboarding, and even the data stuff like cleansing the data, data transformation, all the ETL process as well. So, choosing that. Make sure that you have a seamless integration, because at the end we use Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel. So it integrates really well with that and other data sources as well. So it's very important to have the right system so that your analysts and governance and stewards can work on it.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. No, thank you so much. And as someone passionate about tech and business optimization, are there any new tools? You mentioned Microsoft, but are there any other things that you're really excited about right now as far as tools? Because I feel like there's just so many new things out there.
Yeah, sure. I'm really excited. I've been attending conferences where we are talking about AI assisted analytics, agentic AI, where it integrates very well with your dashboards and it gives stakeholders the ability to personalize their questions, whatever they want to ask, based on the dashboards. So I think that's really cool. And also there are other active metadata platforms that are out there, and they are how they are transforming data producers and consumers, and they align on expectations and enabling more proactive governance. So I'm always on that watch. And I also think that these tools break the barriers of insights, and it helps us with that decision making. And of course, real time analytics is continuing to gain those attraction for operational intelligence. So AI is, I think, big.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. And as far as, resources and things that you're interested in reading and podcasts, aside from this wonderful podcast and resource that we have here, what are some of your favorites and what would you recommend? Maybe some advice that you would give to folks that want to enter the space. I feel like it's very exciting right now, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as I told that, I myself participate in conferences, so that is a big part for me. I get to learn about a lot of tools and technologies, and also from the experts, we get to hear what's their say on and how they're implementing it in their organization. So I think that's definitely a great source. And apart from that, I always follow LinkedIn experts. And I make sure that for different tools, I have different experts in LinkedIn that I follow. So for Power BI, Tableau, governance, and I think that those experts are they're very well defined. How even analysts that are just starting in their career, they should be how they should be building dashboards, how they should be accountable and ownership of their dashboards and the data that they are working on. So I think that's the start of process, and that's how we get into governance. So that's something that I really follow. And I also have some YouTube channels which makes me learn, like which I use for automation purposes, like Alone SIS. That's one of the channels that I use. So I think it's great to have such resourceful websites that we have. And also I think that it's kind of refreshing to see all the new tools that are out there, and how we can interpret them with our curiosity that we have for technology. So yeah, it's good.
Cool. No, that's a great answer. And thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, Yashasvi, it was truly inspiring to hear about your journey and the critical role that strong data governance and analytics play in driving better, smarter business decisions just in general. And I'm really excited to meet you in New York. We're going to be there, gosh, 1 week exactly away from today. So, for you
Yes.
guys watching, we hope that you can join us. We'll be there in person, and it's just one day. And we look forward to seeing you all there. And thanks so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye.